Good morning, folks. We are live. We're going to do something a little different. I normally tell you about the show we got coming up, this, that, and the other. I'm going to play you a video immediately to set the mood for. You're going to love today's show. I am telling you, you are going to love today's show. Let me pull this up for you. This video perfectly encompasses exactly how the Republicans' week is going. We have Ron DeSantis here, and I want to thank, shout out to Ron Filipkowski. He's the head editor over at MidasTouch.com, and Dilly for creating this for us. But you're going to love this, folks. Let me just play it for you, and I'll give you the commentary on the back end. You ready for this?
Governor, hi. You and Donald Trump have gone back and forth in the last few days over who turned.
Just rub that booger all over your face. Oh, now, come on. Let's get you a close-up. Thank you, Dilly. All right. Yeah, we're not going to call him just stupid anymore. We're not going to call him pudding fingers. We're not going to call him the Satan from now on. He is the booger. All right, folks, let's do this. Grab your coffee, grab a pen and paper. We got a good show for you today, and I want to hurry so we can squeeze in that round table at the end. Love you, folks. Man, I tell you what, Democrats, Dark Brandon, cannot stop winning. I'm telling you. And the Republicans are having the worst week you've ever seen in your life. First of all, Donald Trump, I'm going to give just a brief update on Donald Trump and the nonsense going on with him. His problems just got worse. His problems just got way worse. Testimonies coming out in the documents trial that, the documents trial down in Florida. We have Trump employees testifying to the fact that Donald Trump down in Mar-a-Lago, I keep telling you about this billionaire boys club, this billionaire frat club where they get together and they BS and this, that, and the other. There was an Australian billionaire. He's got a company here, a packing company here in the United States. That's why he's here in the States, but he's an Aussie. Down in Mar-a-Lago, BSing with Trump. Trump likes to schmooze with the people that actually have money. And this guy really has no idea what to talk to Trump about. So he brings up a prior conversation they had because about nuclear submarines, Australia at the time was buying nuclear submarines from us. And that sale went through. They bought 3 of them. Oh man, today is a good day. I hope your coffee's as good as mine. So they're sitting there talking to Trump, and when he brings up nuclear submarines, Being the fact that if had Trump not been born with $400 million, in silver spoons in his mouth, would have ended up being a used hot tub salesman, turns around and tries to sell the guy who's not buying the submarines. The billionaire's not buying the submarines. The Australian government is buying the submarine, and blabs to him about how many nuclear warheads are on our submarine. He blabs to him how close our submarines, how far advanced our submarines over Russian and Chinese submarines. He tells him, apparently he heard this in a briefing, and this is one of the few things that stuck with him because it's kind of cool. Within how many feet our submarine, feet, not meters, not miles, not how many feet our submarines can get within a Russian or Chinese designed submarine before they're detected. That is highly classified information. I'm a military nut. I am. I love them. I never served, but I am very fond because I'm a history nut, and history is politics in the military. That's what it is. And submarines are cool, man. And I couldn't tell you, as much as I've read about the Virginia class submarines, I could not tell you how many nuclear warheads they carry. I couldn't. But this Australian billionaire can, and so can apparently a lot of people that were in his entourage, because employees at Mar-a-Lago have testified to Jack Smith that this Australian turns around and just starts blabbing to everybody who's with him these same facts about our submarines. I mean, you can't make it up, folks. You just can't make it up, folks. This is not going to play well at trial for Trump. And speaking of Trump trials, let's do a quick update on what's going on in New York. Yeah, I know we started with the booger, but it goes on to this numbskull. His name's Jeffrey McConney. He glow him up for you. Take a look at this. Take a look at this. I mean, if you are a person of means and you're trying to set up a $1 billion, turns out it's not $1 billion, but $1 billion real estate empire, is this the guy you hire as your controller? I mean, just look at the guy. I mean, he can't even get a decent haircut. Are you really going to turn your empire over to this guy? I mean, Jesus, these guys are clowns. They're clowns. They're idiots. They're complete idiots. And Jeffrey McConney, that guy just sits there on the stand. He's back on the stand this morning. And of course, he's just a moron. He is just a moron. We had Donald Bender, Trump's accountant, sitting on the stand. He throws Ivanka Trump under the bus, then jumps on the bus, throws it in reverse, and backs back up over her because he's testifying that, Ivanka was doing the same thing as everybody else. There's no difference in what she was doing as far as inflating her assets and deflating it on taxes. So Ivanka, who had originally skated on charges, she's now going to face charges. That's Donald Trump's first winner. And Mazars, the company that Donald Bender worked for, they're no joke. They are not. They are a major corporate accounting firm. Those, they don't come cheap, and they quit. He spent the first 2 days on trial explaining why they quit Donald Trump Co. Then we have Jeffrey McConney comes on, and he's vacillating back and forth between, it wasn't me, it was him. Look, there's documents where it says right there, Donald Trump has the last say. Geez, bro. Yeah, I make fun of Cheesebro because Cheesebro wrote memos about everything and just sent them to everybody. He's like, this is how we're committing this crime, and this is how everybody feels about it. Yeah, please respond to my memo. I'm telling you, man, this is how their week is going. Jeffrey McConney has, they're pulling up documents with Jeffrey McConney, and there are notes on the bottom in Jeffrey McConney's handwriting. Donald Trump has the final say on these figures. Yeah, these are all the estimates on the property. These are his statements that he's taking to go get loans. And of course, Donald Trump's been trying to say, well, I told everybody these were just guesstimations and everybody knew. Everybody knew. Let me play the accordion. Everybody knew. I told him I just made this up. Yeah. Everybody knew that was BS to begin with. And Jeffrey McConney, backed a backhoe up to the courthouse. You could just hear beep, 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 dug a big old hole and buried that nonsense because he absolutely said, oh, yeah, these are what we applied for loans with. We used the boss's estimates. And they said, well, you know what? Let's get specific. Let's get specific, Jeffrey. How did you come up with that ridiculous valuation for Trump's apartment? I mean, how did you come up with that ridiculous estimation? They went to an online website, like you go to realtor.com. They found the most expensive apartments in the area. And they used that per square footage valuation and then used Trump's as BS bogus claim of having an over 30,000 square foot apartment. Then they called a real estate agent over the phone and said, hey, does this sound right to you? Does this sound about right? And the real estate agent, without inspecting the apartment, without doing any work whatsoever on the phone, says, oh yeah, he's a celebrity. You can ask whatever you want. We said, okay, thanks, man, and wrote it down on the loan application. We checked with Kenneth Snowden, the real estate agent. He verified what we were saying. I mean, just the blatant fraud, folks, and they're just admitting it. They're just openly admitting it. Donald Trump is getting destroyed with every person that comes up and gives testimony. And then, you get McConney that tries to backtrack a little bit. After it wasn't me, it was him. He had the final say. We absolutely used these figures. Tried to backpedal and say, oh, well, you that's what you do when you file for a loan. You use estimates and this. Oh, Letitia James, prosecutor, says, oh, really? Oh, really? This you, bro? And holds up his testimony when he was doing his deposition prior to the case, where Jeffrey McConney says, you can't really use estimates for anything legally. It's really not a good business practice to try to use estimates. They're running themselves over with their own depositions, with their own testimony. They're throwing themselves under the bus, folks. And it's just, I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. They can't stop digging. They just can't stop digging. We got Trump that comes out after the trial and can't stop talking. And just can't stop.
And tax fraud. The guy in tax fraud. The guy is doing
Really?
a campaign. Yes, really. He said,
Oh, come on.
But she got the judge to value Mar-a-Lago for $18 million. When the smallest house in Palm Beach is probably worth $50 million. And this is the biggest, the best anywhere in the country. There's nothing like it. So they put it down at 18 million, and they said, I overvalued it because we had it valued at a much lower number than it's worth. And by the way, my financial documents are valued much less than my actual value, which nobody even knows.
For the record, they valued it at $700+ million on their loan applications, almost $800 million. Everybody that has done an estimate on Mar-a-Lago, because of the easements that are on the property, the fact that you cannot develop the property, they estimate the value at about $71 million. So he blew his estimate of Mar-a-Lago up by 10 times. Just keep that in mind as we watch the rest of this.
But the financial documents that I gave to the bank are much less than my actual net worth. So therefore, I gave them to the bank.
No, they're 10 times your actual net worth.
It can't be a fraud because I gave them lower numbers. I'm probably one of the only people ever to seek a loan. I didn't even need the loan because you see the kind of cash I have. I didn't even need loans. Maybe you don't do it.
He desperately needed loans. Desperately. He was bankrupt. No one would loan him money. He was desperately in need of money.
Deal or two. But I have a lot of cash, a lot of everything. You know, a lot of people are very surprised at how successful this is. You saw it today with the kind of cash I have and the kind of success we've had.
Actually, the only thing that people are surprised at, you know, they knew you were a liar. They knew you were a grifter. The only thing that people are surprised at is just how far you overestimated these properties, just how bad of a con man you are. That's the only thing surprising people. You know, they expected him to lie about the value of things. They didn't expect him to triple the value of his apartment. They didn't expect him to list Mar-a-Lago with all of its conservation easements. And, you know, it's just a matter of record. They know it brings in about $25 million a year. They know what the property is worth. You cannot develop houses. It doesn't matter that it's 17 acres if you can't develop it. Everybody was shocked that you valued that property on your loans at 10 times its actual value.
But I'm a private company. I was never going to reveal this kind of stuff, but now it comes out. It comes out because a corrupt attorney.
Yeah, it came out. It came out, and the attorney's not corrupt. You know who's corrupt? The people that work for you. That's who's corrupt. I mean, Jeffrey McConney is just burying Trump. 100% burying Trump. I mean, he's just explaining step by step by step how the grift worked. Anyways, folks, that's what we've got going on in the New York trial. Trump's going to file for a continuance. He's going to try to delay the trial while he's already told the judge and this is how stupid they're. You know, we've all been giving Chris Kise props, his attorney. But it seems like every time an attorney goes to work for Donald Trump, they just get really freaking stupid. Chris Kise tells Judge Engeron yesterday, look, we're gonna file a motion to delay the trial while we appeal your original finding of fact that your original ruling against us and telling the entire world how we've been defrauding everybody. We're going to try to appeal that. So we're giving you 24 hours notice. Judge Engeron does them a favor. I mean, if this was Eileen Cannon doing this, people would be losing their ever-loving minds. Judge Engeron says, don't file that tomorrow. don't do that. 24 hours is not enough notice for that kind of filing. If you file this tomorrow, which they did file it today, if you file this, the prosecutor's going to appeal it, the delay, immediately, and they're going to win. Because under no standards in the state of New York is 24 hours enough notice for this type of motion. Don't do it. They did it anyways. They did it anyways. Judge Engeron is like, look, man, I'm helping. This is free. Maybe you had a, brain lockup. Maybe this is a free one. I'm going to do this for you. Don't do this. Wait a week. You've notified me. Wait a week. No. I'm telling you, it's like being around Donald Trump is like the orbit of stupid. You just get dumber and dumber and dumber. I mean, could you imagine how people would be losing their ever-loving minds if Eileen Cannon, they'd be like, she's working for the defense. Judge Engeron's like, come on, buddy, please, let me help you here. Let me help you here. And nothing. He just can't get them to stop losing. Show the Real says 715 years is what he's facing, and this still says there's no possible way he can. And oh my God, still says this is no possible way he can. He's going to lose every damn case because, as I'm explaining here, I'm going somewhere. Donald Trump is running his legal defenses. Yeah, Donald Trump is running his own legal defenses. And he's just burying himself. Speaking of burying himself, Donald Trump was suing Michael Cohen for $500 million. Yeah, that went away. It went to the point where Donald Trump was going to have to sit down for a deposition in day after tomorrow. And yeah, that went away. Donald Trump, no way in hell was going to sit there under oath and allow Michael Cohen and his attorneys to question him. That was just not going to. Everybody said that. That lawsuit was garbage. It was meant to be harassment. And yeah, Donald Trump tucked his tail and ran like a little, yeah. These people just cannot handle, they just cannot handle any kind of scrutiny. It's like cockroaches. The lights come on and they flee. They puff up and try to act like they're tough and they're going to do things and they just puff up and as soon as the lights come on, they're like cockroaches, man. They're just all gone. They all run away. I mean, that's the entire Republican Party today. And Donald Trump just filed a motion with Judge Chutkan. Please dismiss my case. Yeah, that's not going away. But there's method to that madness, and I'm going to tie it all together. Put a pin in this, what I'm about to tell you, because I'm about to talk to you about Rudy in a little bit, and the two things are absolutely related. Donald Trump filed a motion with Judge Tanya Chutkan, said, everything I was doing as president, and therefore you must dismiss my case. No. Oh, and he also said, the impeachment, they found me not guilty. I've already been tried for this. You can't try me again. Which, again, is the stupidest thing anybody has ever said. His attorney should get sanctioned for filing this motion. I mean, an impeachment has nothing to do with this trial. An impeachment is a political exercise. This is an actual criminal trial. So yeah, but there's a reason he's saying that because I was president, you can't. You know what? I'm going to skip around. I'm going to go ahead and jump to Rudy. Rudy's filed a lawsuit against Joe Biden. And I told you folks, he can't sue the president. He can't. Rudy can't sue the president. And Jill Wine-Banks here, she's a great source. She says, pathetic lawsuit. Who thinks it's retaliation for Hunter suing Rudy? No, it's a court strategy being used by Donald Trump in coordination with Rudy Giuliani. Rudy's broke. Rudy is desperately broke. And Trump told him, I'm not giving you a damn dime. And then he went back on that and he paid some of Rudy's storage fees because Rudy has a bunch of documents that incriminate Trump in an electronic, he's paying for cloud storage and he can't afford it. Imagine being so broke you can't afford cloud storage. And he went to Donald Trump and said, look, if I lose this, the company owns the data. They can sell it to whoever they want. And all your secrets are out. So Trump paid his data storage fee. But that was it. He told Rudy, I'll help you fundraise. Well, this is that. This is that. This is part of Donald Trump's stupid legal strategy for one. And then it's grifting to fundraise because everybody's stupid MAGA uncle and stupid MAGA papa that sends Donald Trump money are going to believe that this is the one. This is the one. This is the one where they get Joe Biden. They taking him to court. They're taking him to court. Send him money. Send him money so he can afford to take down Joe Biden. And the same thing's going to happen in this Giuliani suit as just happened with the Cohen suit. As soon as it reaches discovery, Joe Biden's just not even going to pay any attention to this. As soon as it reaches discovery, it's going to go away. But before it reaches discovery, they're going to file motions. This suit, you can't sue the president. You can't sue the president while he's in office for what he does in office. You just can't do it. Our original founders said, hey, the judiciary might interfere with the executive branch. They could just file the president so he's just tied up all the time. And that way they could control the executive branch. So we're not going to allow that. The president gets a certain degree of immunity as long as he's doing something involved with his office. I mean, he can't walk out and shoot somebody unless it's, hey, a time of war and, he's participating in the war. That would be the only that ridiculous example. But, they've got immunity. And that's why I said when Rudy first said he was going to sue Biden, I'm like, good luck with that. So what did he do? He sued candidate Biden. He went back and filed a suit for something that Joe Biden said when he was a candidate. He called Rudy a Russian asset. What they're going to try to do, pay attention here. Trump just refiled that stupid argument that I was president, so you can't convict me. Rudy's got a lawsuit. He's going to file motions to include things that Joe Biden said while president. And Joe Biden's attorneys, rightly so, are going to say, presidential immunity. Those don't count. Throw them out, Judge. And Donald Trump's going to go, see, they're unfair. Biden gets presidential immunity, but I don't. When I asked for presidential immunity, they said no. And I swear to God, folks, that is the grift. That is the grift. And they're going to con your MAGA relatives out of their hard-earned money selling that victimhood. They always do. They always sell victimhood. That's what this is. It's just setting up the grift. And that lawsuit's not going to go anywhere. Do you really think Rudy Giuliani is going to allow discovery? Talk about, well, he called me a Russian asset. Let me hand over all my digital devices and all of my former communications and actually prove I was a Russian asset. Oh my God. It is just crazy. Oh, hey folks, I want to remind you the text sponsor. We have it up and running fantastic. The mugs are there. Get you do you boo mug. But anyways, that's on the heels of all of that. We have more news with the craziness that's going down in the House. And then there were two. Everybody's been whittled down. Byron Donalds is running for the hills. You've got Elise Stefanik that's sticking to her guns and saying, I'm not running. I'm not getting involved in this mess. So that whittles it down to Scalise and Jordan right now. That could change in the future. Anything can change in the future. All I can tell you is what's going on right now. It's down to two. You got Scalise, who's getting hammered because, well, basically nobody paid much attention to Scalise, so all of the scandal around him wasn't a big deal. But if the guy wants to be speaker, yeah, people are really, really talking about it. ET, appreciate you for bringing that up. Michael Cohen is planning a countersuit. I'm going to cover that in another show. Donald Trump's just in a world of hurts, folks. He's in a world of hurts. He is in a mess. But he did come out yesterday and make an endorsement for Speaker of the House. Donald Trump has come out. Everybody's like, well, oh my God, they're going to make Donald Trump speaker. No, they're not going to make Donald Trump speaker. Nothing could immediately collapse the Republican Party faster than if Donald Trump was actually floated as Speaker of the House. That's just not going to happen. So he knows it. He tried. He was talking about going to the Capitol, but he talked to people and they were like, no, we're not doing it. No, hell no, we're not doing it. You'll still get a few knuckleheads that'll float his name because this is going to be chaos. Next week is going to be chaos. But Trump turned around and said, okay, well, I want Jimmy Jordan. Of course he wants Jim Jordan. Of course he wants Jim Jordan. Jim Jordan is the stooge running the weaponization of government committee. He's the guy that's just taken and humiliated himself in hearing after hearing after hearing. He still goes up and tells people that Trump is being persecuted over January 6th. It was just, a protest and I mean, just one thing. It was Antifa. Jordan is a moron. And I'm going to stick my neck out. I'm going to make a prediction. Jim Jordan is not going to be Speaker of the House. You're going to have a section within the Republican Party. You've got the extreme radicals that voted to kick McCarthy out. You're going to get that free dumb caucus that are going to back Jordan. But there are enough Republicans that are just going to stick to their guns with Steve Scalise that Jordan is not going to be Speaker of the House. And to be quite honest with you, there's such a faction within the Republican Party that is so tired of being dragged under the waves. Yeah, Nick Rich absolutely says they fear justice. Absolutely. Absolutely. That is huge. But you've got a section of the Republican Party that so fears Donald Trump and the chaos that he brings that this endorsement actually doesn't help Jim Jordan at all. GOP Rule 26 says no one under the indictment can be Speaker. Linda Blanton. Yeah, it was doomed from the get-go. But they'll still nominate him. They will. You'll hear his name. And Tammy brings up where I was going next. Oh, missed you. There we go, Tammy. They are already throwing Gates under the bus, the GOP bus. Yeah, you've got a large faction of the Republicans in the House that are moving to expel Matt Gaetz. If they can get it done, I'm not sure because the margins are so thin. I don't know that they can afford to lose the seat. As much as they hate Matt Gaetz right now, he may actually survive because they're so weak. Contrast that with Joe Biden. Let's start out with Joe Biden's word and what it means. Now, I don't agree with this, but it was done. And of course, you got Fox News trying to spin it. Biden administration accused of hypocrisy for proposing border wall amid migrant crisis. That's a lie. They are not proposing a border wall. They are not. You should see the comments of the stupidity of the comments down here. And they're getting rolled by people. I'm so happy to see how aggressive we Democrats have gotten about just rolling these Republicans when they say something stupid. Part of the deal that Joe Biden made with the Republicans to get funding for Ukraine, remember, there was supposed to be a clean bill. That's what got McCarthy kicked out. Joe Biden gave his word. The Republicans said, we want you to free up the funding that was approved in 2019 to build the wall. The Biden administration had effectively stopped construction on the wall. They had sued, used every department, every means available to them to stop construction of the wall. Joe Biden made a deal. Said, okay, you already appropriated the money. Fine. You do you, boo-boo. You do you, boo-boo. You want to build this stupid wall? Build your stupid wall. We'll stop opposing it. That was the deal. In return, Republicans in the House are supposed to put forward a Ukraine funding bill. This is why I don't agree with it. There's no such thing as a Republican with character. There's no such thing as a Republican with morals. You cannot make a deal with a Republican. You cannot make a deal with a Republican. And even though Kevin McCarthy has been booted out, Joe Biden, because he has morals, because he has character, is sticking to his end of the deal and freeing up funding for that idiotic wall. And then you get Republicans, listening to Fox News is telling Republicans what we Democrats think. You want to know what we Democrats think? We think that border towns have petty crime. A fence in border towns isn't a bad idea. You can't leave your garage open in a border town. Why? Imagine New York City. You've got Soho and NoHo. South of Houston, north of Houston. Imagine Houston Street was an international border. Well, every crook in Soho, every criminal in Soho would take advantage of that. You cross Houston Street, you steal something, you run back across Houston Street. That's what happens at border towns. Cities have criminals in them, folks. They do. They do. Hell, there's criminals out here in the country. My neighbor had his watering trough stolen by a crackhead up the street. There's crime everywhere. Now imagine the benefit of having an international border there. So if you break into somebody's garage, you steal something, you can take it across the border. You don't get charged. You don't. You get away with it. You go sell it across the border. You steal a bicycle. And trust me, folks, I spend time down at the border. You can go across and find, and I'm not talking about the little touristy things where they sell the maracas and the fake serapis. No, I'm talking about you go to a real flea market. There are thousands of bicycles, thousands of them, because bicycle theft is huge. Well, we Democrats say, you know what? We can put cameras up. We have facial recognition software, night vision. We can put cameras up, and when somebody comes across the border and steals something, we can get an image of their face. When they try to come back, the software will notify the police that they're here. They'll tell them where they are. They'll track them, and we can arrest them. Republicans, no, build a wall. No, build a wall. Yeah, build a wall. Let me show you something. You want to know how easy this stupid wall is? It's such old technology. You know how easy this is to defeat? Let me pull this up for you. If I were going to defeat this wall, this is how I would do it. There you go. Let me find a 20 ton here. They've got one. Oh, well, I'll pull a smaller one. You just got to trust me. They got 20-ton jacks. You go down to Harbor Freight. They're only a few bucks. If I was going to defeat this stupid wall, this is how I would do it. You go down to Harbor Freight and you buy you a couple of these jacks. This one's 30 bucks. It's a 12-ton jack. You squeeze it in between the slats on the wall. And you start cranking. And then you stretch the space between the walls. They've done it over and over again, folks. That's how they've defeated this wall in the past. There are sections of the wall where people are just walking right through it, not even slowing down. Because all you do is take and put a jack in between those slats and you spread them apart. Just like you'd spread the bars on a. It's old technology. It's stupid. But Joe Biden said, hey, you do you, boo-boo. That's what you want to negotiate for? Do it. I can't tell you what to ask for. I think it's stupid. I've stopped it already, but I'll get out of your damn way. You do you. But I want Ukraine funding. Now you watch, folks. I am telling you, you cannot make a deal with a Republican. They have no character. They have no morals. They will, because there's chaos in the House, try to hold up the deal they made this month to pull up funding for Ukraine. That's why DeSantis got kicked out of, McCarthy got kicked out of office. It's all about Ukraine. And we've got about 1,400 people here now. So I want to reshare this video for the folks that saw it earlier. I'm sorry, but we're gonna show it again. We're gonna show it again. Ron DeSantis just started the week showing us exactly the kind of week Republicans were happening, and he has a new nickname. I mean, he sweats like a fat whore in church. He does all the time. He's always sweating. He's always wiping his face, this, that, and the other. But he just went a bit far this time. He should just let me show you.
Governor,
For the new folks.
you and Donald Trump have gone back and forth in the last few days over who turned.
Yeah. Oh. Let's slow it down for you. Just wipe that booger all over your face. Nice close up for you. Oh, that's just nasty. That's just nasty. Just wiping that. That's why from now on, I am telling you, hashtag CWTP, Coffee with Texas Paul, hashtag debooger. No longer putting fingers, no longer to Satan, no longer to stupid. He is debooger. Oh, damn, I'm out of coffee. Oh, my God, that's nasty. That is so nasty. Just right on camera. Let me wipe that on my face. I hear it's good for the skin. I hear it's good. Oh, my God. So that's what Republicans have been doing. Democrats like Dark Brandon have been making deals to fund Ukraine. See, that's how you deal with that, Ron. That's how you deal with that. You get your Kleenex. That's how you deal with that. Oh, my God. Ron DeBooger. But no, what's Joe Biden doing? What's Joe Biden doing? Winning. Absolutely winning. And he just can't stop winning. Jobs report for September came out. Thank you, honey. Jobs report for September came out. They were predicting 174,000 jobs in September. That's what the street wanted. What do you think they got? If you know, don't blow it. I want to see guesses over in the chat. How many jobs do you think they created in September? I'll give you one hint. Unemployment stayed at 3.8%. So you know it was at least a minimum of 200,000. How many do you think? Let's see it in the chat. How many? Take a guess. Damn it, Gary. I told you if you knew, don't post it. Gary McAbee, you people are the best. You know everything that's going on. I'm surprised you pay attention to me. You already know what's going on most of the time. So many of you are just up with. I love you folks, man. I love talking to you folks. Oh my God. Yeah, 336,000 jobs. Now you'd think that would be good news. Am I right? I mean, 336,000 jobs. Of course, the Republicans are out there whining. You know what they're whining about? Well, this means interest rates won't come down. Mortgage rates are really high. That means interest rate. Well, yeah, because Dark Brandon does his job. He's fighting inflation. And that's how one of the biggest tools you use to fight inflation is you ratchet those interest rates up. What the banks can borrow money at, you keep ratcheting it up. Right now, a mortgage is at 7.7%, and people are still buying houses at an alarming rate. They're trying to bring the cost of that real estate down because it's a bubble. They're trying to do it slowly by slowly ratcheting those rates up to slow down those sales. That's what that's what leadership looks like, folks. That's what leadership looks like. A president doing his job. They literally take great financial news and we haven't even seen the seasonal hiring yet. I mean, we're in October now. October's going to rock. November's going to rock. September's going to rock. The economy is rolling. I appreciate you saying that. Catherine Sofakidis says, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Tell me, you need to put in chat whether I'm pronouncing. Sofakidis says, we are here for community. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what we need to do. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. You know, I'm here to get the message out, and I'm here to talk with you folks, to charge each other up and get each other moving. I appreciate you, Catherine. But yeah, that's what Biden's doing. That's what Biden's doing. He's out there doing his damn job. And he's not hiring people like Jeffrey McConney, who goes to realtor.com to get valuations for property. I mean, Jesus. But that's not the only good news that we have. We've got a flipper. We've got a flipper, and it has nothing to do with Donald Trump. I get tired of talking about Donald Trump. We have got a flipper. From the Midas Touch Network, a great story, you know, and another shout out. This one's from Aaron Parnes. George Santos, former campaign treasurer, has flipped. You know, George Santos has been indicted in New York. They're facing charges for, getting freaky with his campaign funds. He's going to be convicted, folks. I mean, again, that's another one. We keep talking about the documents cases, how you can't beat documents cases, fraud, things like that. They're just going to walk in, they're going to open the books and say, here's the money, here's the transfer. That's what the Republicans keep trying to do with Hunter Biden and keep falling flat on their faces because everybody says, okay, you've shown us the books, but where's the fraud? And they could never find any. Well, George DeSantis, went shopping, did a bunch of different things. His treasurer has flipped. The person that knows where all the bodies are buried, the person that knows where all the donors were grifted, knows where all the money got shuffled to, is now state's evidence. And Joe Biden created 336,000 jobs at the same time. I'm sorry, folks. I am sorry. It kills me that people actually used to think of Republicans as serious people. They've never been serious people, ever. And we Democrats are absolutely killing it. Last bit of good news that I want to share with you, folks. You're really going to like this. Everybody hates Christian cinema. And Ruben Gallego has been doing an amazing job down in Arizona. He's going to take that seat from Kristen Sinema. He just got a major endorsement. Y'all remember the group NARAL? They have since rebranded, and they've actually grown. They're even bigger. They call themselves Reproductive Freedom for All now. They have come out and endorsed Ruben Gallego. That's going to mean a ton of donations for Gallego, because Reproductive Freedom for All is a strong coalition of women, and women get it done. Women are not like men. If you want to hear somebody talk about something, ask a man. You want to see somebody get something done, ask a woman. Man, I tell you, that's some good. Thank you, honey. That is some great coffee. I hope your coffee's as good as mine. Well, look, I promised you folks we're going to do a roundtable today. I would cut it off in plenty of time to do a roundtable. We've got 9 minutes left. I want to talk to you folks. I want to hear what you have to say. And here comes Asborn Knudsen. Man, I appreciate all the support, folks. I do. I appreciate every bit of support. You know, most businesses fail within the first 3 months. They do. Most businesses fail within the first 3 months. And this little venture, you folks have made sure has paid for itself and are keeping it running. All the subscriptions, I'm about to have to replace a light here because this one's blinking. And I've got pretty cheap studio lights I went with. Everything on this isn't good mic. It's a Mona, but I've got a Shure SM7B. It's a much better mic coming. I appreciate the support, folks. You folks have really made it happen. Asborn Knudsen, forgive me, man. Knudsen says Democrats should start a bank that offers subsidized house loans to working families and young people with student debt. Owning your house is a great way to start generational wealth. Absolutely. Unfortunately, in this country, Mr. Knudsen, it's capitalism or nothing when it comes to banking, when it comes to, a nationalized bank would be a wonderful thing. And for the rest of the world, ask Asborn there, man. Ask him. They have those things in the rest of the world. Banks that don't gouge, that just serve the people, that don't screw people over, that offer loans to people that need them the most. They have those things in the rest of the world. We can't have them because the billionaire frat boys club that supports the Republican Party makes sure that there are always well-funded Republican candidates to stand in our way. Appreciate the support, Sherry. You're always here. I really appreciate you. It makes all the difference. That was a great question, great comment. Mitzi Wheeler says, we lost our house in 08, 09. The crash hit the same time I became disabled. I am starting to give up on ever owning a home again. Mitzi, don't give up. Don't. I know, and I tell you, I've been there, folks, man. I have been there. Before I was married to Mrs. Texas Paul, it was even worse, way worse. Now I'm taking hits for other people. We're the people to go to, but I mean, just bad things happen. And I remember, man, this is stuff that just forged me, shaped me. Bad things happen. But, I was reading a story the other day from a woman that had, she was just giving her testimony out on the X-Chan, the site formerly known as Twitter, where it was a 10-year window. She lost everything and was homeless and living on the street due to addiction. She bought a house. She just became a homeowner. So me sitting here saying, oh, well, it's going to be okay. I know, man, it doesn't fix it for you. It doesn't. I'm not arrogant enough to think it does. But I do know time fixes things. If you just keep banging away, time fixes everything, my friend. Time fixes everything. Stars Above says gas is getting high here. California. Newsom is intervening to help. Democrats try to work for their people. Absolutely, absolutely. And I have to tell you, it's really unfair because gas is going down here. We were just. I love my wife. God, I love my wife. Let me tell you a quick story about my wife. We were talking with the person that checks us out. We're Democrats. I am a proud Democrat. We were talking about, things that we're going to. Well, you hear a big huff behind us. I turn around. There's a guy wearing a Trump shirt, MAGA idiot, in line behind us at Sam's. What does my wife do? Oh, wait, hold on. Stops the line, takes a picture of the gas prices they post right there because they're down to $2.82 a gallon, back under $3 a gallon. Turns around and just yells in the guy's face, gotta love those Bidenomics. Look at them gas prices. And the lady that was checking us out says, yeah, it's a great time to buy gas. I love my wife. I love my wife so much, man. I really do. She's going to get me into a fist fight, but I love her. So let's find another good question. Carl Jacobson comments, North Dakota has a state bank. From what I understand about it, only business and student loans. Yeah, like I have a simple savings account if I could. I'd like to have a simple savings account if I could. We also have the North Dakota Mills state-owned. Yeah, there are small, limited in function banks out there that are government owned. There are. But as far as a fully functioning, like Asborn Newton's talking about, we don't have them, man. You would die. If you went to live in Europe for a while, you would be everybody that does comes back pissed off at how we do things here. Europe and Canada are both way ahead of us on how they handle things. And guess what? They have billionaires too. People are making money there too. You know, this BS about if we don't let the billionaire frat boy clubs rape us, then everything's going to shut down and die is a load of trash. They have health care. They have government-owned banks that make sure people don't get screwed. They have that stuff. Petrodez says the further you get from Texas, the more expensive gas gets. It's where we get most of our gas because it's where the refineries are. That is true. That is true. There's a hub in the middle of the country. You know, they keep talking about the pipeline that Biden killed, that he didn't kill, that was never built. He didn't shut down a pipeline. Those pipelines he was talking about were the ones that feed, from Ohio over to about Iowa. There's a hub of refineries there too in the center of the country. But yeah, the vast majority of gas is refined here in Texas, and it's just cheaper here. It's always going to be cheaper here just because of the proximity. And also, I don't know if you know this, there are summer blends, there are winter blends. The summer blends are more expensive because gas will flash at room temperatures. You know how you smell gas vapors? Well, around 80, 90 degrees, gas will actually start pumping out a ton of vapors, and those vapors are the most expensive. So they have to put chemicals in them to make the gas more stable. So summer gas is actually more expensive than winter gas. All right, let's find another great comment. Folks, you are the best. You are the best. You people just know what the hell's going on. I love talking to y'all. You know how it soaks your soul whenever you hear a maggot talk and they just say the stupidest crap. Yeah, we don't have that problem here. You people know what the hell you're doing. Shameless plug. The new cups are out. Get your You Do You Boo Boo cup. We're running out of time. We're going to have to call it quits. So we're running up against her because we've got a lot of sparklers here. We've got a lot of the Tony fam here. We just don't want to be rude, folks. I don't want to impinge on your good times. So we've got hard breaks during the week, and we are out of time. It's 11 o'clock. I have loved talking to you. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. Y'all have a wonderful day. This is Old Texas Paul out.